Hi guys, welcome back. Here's a little bit of what's been going on with Pastor Van during week 3. I've done a couple little lunging sessions in here. Obviously you can see it is sped up. Part of lunging is to learn their mannerisms on the ground. So he is a fairly patient horse, but the more we have done lunging sessions, he has learned how to stand, listen to a little bit of voice command, go, whoa, that sort of thing. The side reins are still fairly loose, so if he puts his head up for balance, if he feels he needs to, he doesn't feel trapped. When we tighten the side reins a little too soon, that does teach the horse to not want to accept the contact, or that the contact is very stressful. So here, very, very low key, walk trot. The arena was a little bit of a slippery mess because of the sprinkler system, but so we didn't do a whole lot of cantering, just a little bit of trot to canter transitions and back to trot. But he's starting to learn what the contact is here and takes it fairly well. And here, when we bring him back to the halt, he is learning to not come in, but to just stand and wait patiently while I come over and adjust and change directions and that sort of thing. So just like lunging, anything on the ground is also building a partnership with a horse and teaching them that they can trust us. So here I am pulling Pastor Van's mane. It is sped up. I do not go this fast. But you can see he is a little bit unsure. I have found towards the withers and his poll, which most horses are. So I just did little segments, lots of reward, pats, some cookies, little breaks, some scratches in the mane, and then also just some brushing, just so he learned that every time I brush, I'm not getting ready to yank some hair out. For being this first time, obviously I did not know what he was going to do. He's got a fairly good brain, so I did not think that he was going to overly react, but you never know. So pretty pleased with how well he stood. What a silly boy. So here in a minute, you can see he tries to move his head so he can avoid getting this done. Just be patient, wait it out, slow, lots of rewards, cookies, regroup, give him a little bit of a break. If their mane is really, really thick, you can always split it up over a couple days. So yeah. And here we are again, just finishing up with the reward. So this is my ride on. So here we have just gotten on, we're warming up. The walk is a little bit sticky. He's not really on the contact. I've got a little bit of a loose rein, just feeling him out for where he is for today. So based on my previous rides and watching videos of myself ride, I do not like how slumped over I get or how bent my wrists get. So today my goal was, no matter how unbalanced he may feel, just stay strong in my seat and be encouraging. Here, as the walk is warming up a little bit more, he's loosening up just a little bit, staying a little connected. During the halt, just my first halt of the ride, his head came up, his ears perked out, he looked around, not really standing square, not really paying attention, but also not just blowing me off. So, and he is responding a little bit as I give the rein and the contact, he does follow a little bit. So off to a good start. Here in the warm-up at the trot, just letting him loosen up. If I could draw a line straight out of his back, straight over like where his withers are, straight out the front, ideally I would like him to be below that line in his neck. So here I'm just encouraging him to stretch down a little bit more. He likes to be tight, just kind of in that space right behind the pole. So here's just a lot of encouraging, staying consistent, staying back, staying strong in the saddle. Yeah. And again, a lot of it is just being patient. Here, when he's a little bit tighter, it's not getting angry and trying to push his nose to the ground. It's waiting patiently, seeing if he can take a fill, a little bit more of the rein. First pole of the ride, it obviously felt a little sticky going through, but that's okay. Before going through these trot poles, I did walk over them just to give him a chance. Here, he likes to pause. A little bit of a spider monkey, but still moving forward. So as we try to go back through, I'm just trying to encourage more of a flow, not necessarily neck down, just more of a flow, staying a little bit more consistent in the rhythm. And then afterwards, continuing with seeking the contact long and low. And he's starting to relax a little bit. Good. And he's starting to put his neck just slightly at the line where I would say it shoots out of his withers. So yeah. Well, as we get warmed up this way, I did go around the poles, just giving him a chance to loosen up a little bit at the trot here before we introduce him at the trot this direction. A little bit of a walk break, and then continuing on. So the first couple times we go through the poles this direction, he is a lot more stuck, harder to keep the flow going. So given that was his first time at the trot this direction, I said, let me just try that again, see if he needed just a little bit more encouragement before, and not chasing, just asking him to just keep stepping. Yeah. And as we go through, he's still just as stuck. So here is where we change a little bit of the game plan. I just put him on a circle to the right here over the single pole, giving him a chance to kind of work out a little bit of these kinks and learning how to just keep stepping. So the first couple times even here, he's a little bit, little stuck, little double step right before that pole, but he's still going. So again, it's just a patient game. A little leg here. Yeah, he's starting to figure it out. A little bit of a walk break to say, hey, that was very good. So after a little bit of a walk break here, we'll try again with just a single pole. Make sure it's stuck in his brain, and it did. Very good. So from here, we're going to go over it again. Very good. And continue on with our 4 poles here. And as you can see, he understood that a little bit better. So good boy. And again, just letting him walk. After every time he does something well, we're not going to go directly to a walk, but here just giving him a chance to process that that was good. It seemed to work the time before with just a single pole, so we'll just give it a go again. And here he seems just a lot more relaxed, even in the changing of directions here, after having a little bit of those breathers for the baby brain. So in the circle to the right, he seemed to stay pretty steady, but in the circle to the left, he definitely likes to push out on this right shoulder. So this was just kind of seeing where he's at in his own balance here. Since we circled to the right, can we just as easily circle to the left, and making it more of a game, not forcing his shoulders to stick to the inside. He definitely likes to overbend his nose to the left versus taking his whole body, but that's just something that we're going to work on as time goes on. Not too worried about it. Already that was much better with a little bit of a walk break there in between these pull sets. So here to the left, he definitely tenses up a lot more than to the right, I feel anyways. And it might be because my right leg is a lot more stable than my left. So that's just something as a rider I need to work on. So yeah, just building that partnership through my seat as well. See, already you can see to the right he wants to relax a lot more as he changes direction, versus to the left he does tend to have more moments of where the neck comes up a little bit more and tightens. So just continuing to be patient and encourage him down to the bit there. Better there, changing direction to the left, but you can see he relaxes, comes up and tightens in his neck, and then goes back to being relaxed. So just creating more of a flow, and that will come with time. I'm not too worried about where he's at right now with that. So here up into the canter transition, it definitely is a little bumpy, so I just bring him back, say woo, try again. We just want to step up into the canter, definitely don't want to run. So here I also get up in 2-point and encourage him not from my shoulders, but from my leg to go forward. And one thing I'm noticing as I'm watching my ride, I do not like how wiggly my thighs are. So as this continues on, that's definitely going to be another thing that I'm going to work on. And again, this is my left leg, so it may wiggle a little bit more than my right, but such is learning. So here I go into a sitting canter, just seeing how he will respond, and he seems to tighten up just a smidge. So all I'm thinking as a rider is just stick with him, move my elbows, move my eye, just keep riding and encouraging him to just move forward. I'm not holding him into the contact, and I'm not pulling him downward. I'm just trying to encourage his hind legs to come up and him to keep moving forward. At the canter, it's a little bit easier for them to move. And here you can see his tongue flapping. Definitely sitting the canter stressed him out a little bit. So all I'm doing here as a rider is encouraging him to move forward. Getting a little curled in my spine here, but that's okay. Just more worried about moving him forward and just letting him understand that sitting is okay. And here he starts blowing out a little bit, relaxing a little bit about it. So the moment he does, I just bring him back to the trot and let him know that that was good. Trying again to be patient and not let things become stressful for him. So now we're just going to canter to the right. He definitely steps into it a lot easier than into the left. But again, what is that with him and his balance versus my right leg being stronger than my left? So just something that I'm going to keep in the back of my brain to work on. Again, not pulling on the reins, just sticking with him, letting him stretch as he goes. And again, when he feels comfortable, moving forward up in 2-point, just continuing the flow here at the sitting of the canter, continuing to move my elbows. Again, here I feel that in my seat I need to close my thigh a little bit more, and I'd be a little bit more stable in the saddle. But again, that's going to come with time and just developing my seat and developing the partnership with the horse so he understands my aids a little bit more. Riding babies and unbalanced horses, your seat doesn't always look quite how you would like, but that's okay. And here, coming back into the trot, just encouraging him to keep stepping forward. As you come back into the trot, especially with baby horses and young green horses, just encourage them to keep moving forward. Don't stop the motion and let them stretch as they go. And here he's starting to understand that he can relax and stay consistent. And then down into the walk, again, he's just looking to stretch over. Here he's taking my leg as step forward versus bringing his back up into his top line, but again, not too worried about it right now. A little bit of the right leg here I felt him bulging inwards, and again with my seat just needing to use my thigh more than my lower leg. So here when he gets ready to lift his head up, you see I'm not pulling, I'm just following through with the contact. And just as he comes up, I leave my leg on, I stay consistent in the rein length. I'm not pulling back, I'm just following where his head and neck are going, so he understands that the bit is going to follow him and he should follow the bit. One and the same. And then here, as we get ready to halt, he's trying to figure out why the contact isn't going away so he can just stand there. But here I'm just leaving my leg on. Good boy. I'm just waiting it out. Not really pulling, just trying to stay consistent and let him understand that this isn't a pressure to run away from. And with that consistency, it's being rewarded because here you see he's continuing to follow the reins down. Even if it's only for a couple steps, it's still the idea that will be built on. And here, as he comes into the walk, yes, it's not square, but it feels a lot more relaxed and stable. And again, some just really nice moments of just coming down and understanding that the contact isn't something that should be stressful. So, thanks again for joining in. This adventure so far has been a lot of fun and very rewarding, so exciting to see where it goes. What a good boy.